HBO original series Vice News Tonight.
Tonight.
There's just a strange, starey expression that he has.
Opening statements began today in the trial of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, but not before some drama. The judge had to replace two jurors. One said he had a conflict with his job. The other offered up a doctor's note, citing anxiety. Security is high. Cameras aren't allowed in. And U.S. Marshals will escort him to court from a cell in an undisclosed location. Two artists have been drawing El Chapo since he started making pre-trial appearances last year.
My name's Christine Cornell. I'm a courtroom artist. I started in 1975. I grew up in this business. I did it straight out of art school, where they don't allow cameras in. I'm their camera. I consider myself both a journalist and an artist.
My name is Elizabeth Williams. I've been doing courtroom artwork since 1980. You're a visual journalist. El Chapo's a challenge to draw because he is so well known. People know his face.
This is a drawing from his first appearance in court. This is the prosecutor and his defense attorney. These are always down and dirty arraignments. They take place in, 10 minutes.
I remember they were going to arraign him and they told me where to go and when, and they brought him out of the lockup. And I remember, El Chapo stands for is shorty, right? So he wasn't certainly as short as I thought.
This was I think it was the second time I drew him, and his absolutely glamorous wife was in the room. And he's got a very odd quality about his face, and I was trying to show it in his eyes, and that's it. I think he's had plastic surgery, which has lifted up his epicampal fold, and you can see a little bit more over his iris than you normally can, and they tended to be a tiny bit bloodshot too. There's just a strange, starey expression that he has.
You get off like by a millimeter with that nose or those eyes, and you sort of miss the look, he kind of moves over at the judge and then he'll look over at his wife, and then lately he's looked at his wife a lot more.
He stares at his wife all the time, and then he's got these two little bouncing twin-like girls, and she dresses them identically.
He's way over here. She's way over there. That's really how it is, right? They aren't like this at all. I mean, she's way, like that. And so you have all this empty dead space, so you have to do it as two pictures.
If I'm sitting directly behind the defendant and they're right in front of me and I see everything like that, sometimes I just change my perspective in my head, That's all there is to it.
I wanted to be a fashion illustrator. I worked in the Hollywood industry doing costume illustration for various designers. Then I also did other jobs. And the problem was that I really couldn't make ends meet. And so my professor suggested that I do courtroom art.
Never in a million years thought I was going to be a courtroom artist. I was always inclined more towards fine arts. But this is the first thing that I did where they just kept calling me to come back. And it's actually, turned out to be a real gift of mine to do portraits.
We're heading to Brooklyn Federal Court. The El Chapo trial is starting today with the opening statements.
Courtroom art has changed over the years in several ways. One of the most important ways is that the speed of it. You have to be much faster because of the 24-hour news cycle. Back in the 80s, there were 2 news stories. The 5 was the local and the 6 was the evening, and you just had to have your artwork done by, say, 3 o'clock, and they could get the artwork on the air.
Are you both artists?
No, I'm the artist.
You're the artist?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's raining. You won't be out there long. Let's decimate this thing. It's a very tough job. Nobody hands it to you on a platter. Nobody sits down and poses for you. Sometimes you walk into the room and you go like, who's the defendant? And nobody knows, you know? And you just go like, oh, dang, you know, this is going to last 5 minutes. Am I going to get it? You know, am I going to make a mistake? Am I going to choose the wrong person? Sometimes you do. Since I started in the 70s, I was told it was a dying profession and that we were like rats on a sinking ship. And the truth of the matter is that it is competitive, and it did used to support an awful lot more artists than it does today. And we are much more on each other's turf over, you know, who gets his job.